It's the start of 2026, so naturally I've been meditating on the closing of a year and the starting of a new one, on what challenges I've overcome and what difficulties may yet lie ahead. This left me with two very different, very random thoughts. One, what the future holds is unknown, and two, fear is the path to the dark side. Now, I definitely kind of laughed at myself at that second thought at first, but then I really started to dig into that thought for a minute. Okay, so no, this isn't technically a TTRPG video, but I have been thinking a lot about how the things we want are often stifled by the what-ifs. How just the idea of failure can stop us from even trying. It's the same with being a game master as it is with any new or creative endeavor. So stick with me as I bring this back around to this idea of the Jedi mindset. First off, a little primer. As a new father and a very flawed human being, I often think about what we pass on to the next generation. What I pass on to my daughter, even with these silly TTRPG videos. For context, Pip is 2.5 right now. She's full of wonder, of curiosity, of playfulness. Things that I think the world could use more of. Things that I think are stripped away from us as we age and as we are taught that these things don't hold value, or at least that they don't hold priority. And so these things atrophy over time like an unused muscle. We are taught that there are right answers to everything, and so we eventually trade wonder for competence. We learn that the world is a harsh place of consequence, and eventually we exchange curiosity for security. In other words, we learn to become fearful. Adulthood often teaches us that productivity is paramount and playfulness is frivolity. And so we forget how to be playful, how to find the joy in the simple things. We cut out anything that isn't efficient or purposeful, oftentimes at the expense of these simple joys, like my kid is so full of right now. I mean, have you ever listened to the life-giving laugh of a toddler who just discovered two sounds and mashed them together, even though they're not a real word? And now I'm not saying we have to go all the way back to that level of playfulness, but could it really hurt if we learned to laugh a little again? So I've been thinking to myself, how do I curb these external influences and learn to once again foster those things within myself to model that they are valuable to another generation? Well, the answer is simple, of course. I must become a Jedi. First off, I will say that being a Jedi in this sense isn't about having the Force or having some magic control over our minds or even following a strict code. It's about being a sort of counterintuitive monk, a cultural punk monk, if you will. I just think that the imagery of the Jedi encompasses this cultural punk monk and sort of hopefully gets us halfway there. But what is this Jedi mindset really? There's a great example in the movie The Last Jedi that I think really gets at the heart of what the Jedi mindset should be. The line is right after Yoda burns the sacred Jedi text and looks to a very dismayed Luke and says this, and I'm going to heavily paraphrase because it's Yoda. Pass on what you've learned, your strengths, mastery, yes, but also weakness, folly, failure. Yes, failure most of all. The greatest teacher is failure. For we are what they must grow beyond. That is the true burden of all masters. See, that scene and that statement really stuck with me. I think that that is the reason the movie is called The Last Jedi, because ultimately it's a story about letting go. Letting go of the name, letting go of these false ideals, but remembering the lessons. So where am I going with all this? The more I thought about it, the more I thought, how do I become something that others can grow beyond? How do I become a Jedi Master? You see, I think we naturally form a cultural desire to be competent in everything, to do everything perfectly by the book, to never show flaws or weakness or accept failure. And I think that this ultimately robs us of the greatest lessons life has to offer. I believe the lesson that Yoda is trying to teach Luke and the real value of being a Jedi is embracing life and letting go. Embracing the journey, all of the journey, even the mistakes, especially the mistakes. To just stop trying to force everything to happen the way we think it should, and to just let go of expectation. Not to live in fear of what could happen, but embrace what does happen. In fact, this idea of letting go is a consistent theme throughout Star Wars. I think the true folly of the Jedi is that they didn't let go enough. They clung too tightly to their ideals and not enough to the lessons of those ideals.
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
So instead of letting go of their fears, they let those fears rule them. So perhaps the path to mastering the Jedi mindset is the practice of letting go. Letting go and listening to the lessons life is teaching us. Perhaps we can foster curiosity by letting go of assuredness, of certainty, of acting like we have all the answers. Maybe we retain a sense of wonder when we let go of expectation, of thinking the world doesn't have anything new to surprise us with, of feeling like everything must go a certain way and being disappointed when it doesn't. Perhaps we can even find joy in playfulness as adults by letting go of inhibition, by freeing ourselves and others from judgment, by not fighting our inner child with this idea that we just have to be so damn serious all the time, by not feeling this need to act so put together, and by just laughing a little and not being afraid to be a little cringe, even on the internet. So if there is one thing to take away from this video, then ask yourself this: what lessons is life trying to teach you? Is there something that you need to let go of? Expectation? Inhibition? Competency? Fear? Will we achieve that? No, not in a day. But if we're willing to fail, maybe we will discover we can achieve much more by accepting the journey rather than hesitating before we even begin. All right, well, you're probably thinking by now, Jordan has totally lost it. Yeah, probably. But you know what? It's a new year. People like to do resolutions and stuff. And this is just a way to say, examine your life, examine yourself, figure out what you need to do to change and to become the person that you want to be. But who knows? Maybe you really needed to hear this. And if it takes someone like me being silly in the woods and talking about Jedi to let go of that thing that's holding you back, then I'm happy to have said it. And if not, then I'm happy to be what you grow beyond. Because there's always more we can learn, we can always adapt, and we never stop growing. Peace.